What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Please follow my Instagram at RussoLifts, just in case something happens to this YouTube channel. You can follow, message, and you can watch my daily story content on Instagram. I'll see you there. What's up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Today I'm going to be analyzing my blood work. So if you have not watched the previous video on how to get your blood work done without a doctor, completely independently for only your viewing, I will link that in a card as well as in the description. So I highly recommend you watch that video. But let's go through my blood work results. So going back to Persona Labs here, and we are going to log into your account, and then you will see lab results. And then I'm going to open up my last blood work I pulled, which was before the enhanced documentary, as well as the current blood work now. So before I go through the blood work, I wanted to provide some background on, my current situation here. So first off, I'm not going to sugarcoat everything. I'm not delusional. There's side effects of steroids. I'm well aware. Next, this year was especially terrible for me because if you guys have been following my YouTube, you'll know, and I've already bitched and complained about this, but I was basically at the tail end of my bulk, pushing over 250 pounds on cycle when the COVID lockdown hit. So when the COVID lockdown hit, I didn't want to take this extreme cycle anymore, but in reality it was very tough decision, right? So if I come off, that means I'm going to get fat as shit, or if I stay on, I'm still stressing everything out while not being able to utilize, work out, get the benefits out of the cycle. So I decided to terminate my cycle at 250 pounds, and then my metabolism crashed. I got completely fat, and now I'm here. And I'm cut back down to 235, 236 in the morning nowadays. So I've recovered my physique. It took me a while to even rebuild my strength. And I did not want to, I wanted to get back to the volume I was doing before I started cutting again, because I do plan on competing in NPC Classic Physique. So that was my final bulk, and it got super messed up due to COVID. And I think that plays a role in this blood work. Now, I'm going to show you two blood works. Again, the previous blood work I got pulled was before the enhanced documentary to make sure everything was okay. And then I'm going to show you the current blood work as well. And I'm going to go into what I personally look at to assess, the side effects of steroids. So let's get started. If you guys could leave a rating and comment on this video for the algorithm to help more people see it, that would be amazing. I'm really trying to get to 30,000 subscribers, and I feel like I'm the most unbiased, realistic, no sugarcoating, bodybuilding channel out there. At least one of them. I'm not going to say I'm the best one, but I definitely think I'm one of them. So let's get started. All right, let's get started. So the number one side effect with steroids is the progression of heart disease because of the cholesterol skew, which you can see in my blood work. So that is the red flag, always, the most prevalent side effect I personally see in blood work with steroids is that the HDL is low and normally the LDL is high. Now, this is the worst cholesterol reading I've ever gotten, and I think it obviously comes into the factor of I got fat at 250 pounds. I did not get the reverse diet, back down and lean out and then go off cycle, right? COVID hit me and I had to terminate my cycle before I got to reverse back down. And I really wish I had an extra month or two, or had some sort of warning that, the gyms were going to close so I could reverse back down and not get fat. So I think that plays a role in this cholesterol. So 21 is HDL. You really want HDL to be around 60 for most optimal. And then 40, 35 is what you shoot for while you're on shit. So I'm at 21. I will be utilizing red yeast rice, cardarine, krill oil to bring my HDL back, hopefully So I'm shooting for 35, 40. If we look at my previous blood work, you can see that my HDL before I got fat was 32, but my LDL was 72. Now this is the bad thing. So LDL has skyrocketed because I got fat, and the cycles have took a toll on the cholesterol skew. So I'm going to be changing my diet. To be honest, I've been eating 8 whole eggs a day, so I'm going to cut that out and switch to egg whites. I've been personally lazy with that, and I've just been ordering omelets, 2 vegetable omelets from Uber Eats, and I'm going to do the egg white substitution, as well as cardarine, red yeast rice, krill oil. So overall, my cholesterol total is 11 points over the reference range. Now, that being said, it's all bad cholesterol mostly with 21 HDL. If we look at my previous blood work, we can see that when I'm not fat, when I have everything under control and don't have this fiasco of a year go on, my LDL was only 72, which put my total cholesterol 122, which doesn't really put me in the risk factor, in my opinion, for heart disease, because the data with HDL and LDL is, and you really need to get a more special cholesterol test to really know what your cholesterol was like. So I forget the specific test, but you can actually see like the density of the cholesterol and stuff. So that's really what I need to get back to. I need to drop my so I need to get my LDL down and raise my HDL up. That's going to be the main goal for my next blood work. So that is the biggest side effect of steroids, is the HDL skew. You constantly need to be fighting this, and when you combine it with a bad diet, or you get fat, it gets really bad. So lesson learned, I really couldn't do anything. I plan on recovering this and pulling bloods in 6 months, and hopefully my HDL will be around 35, my LDL will be at least under 100. So that is the main worst side effect of my blood work right here. All right, so fasting blood glucose was 74, which is good. You always want your fasting blood glucose to be under 80. If you have fasting blood glucose of 100 plus, you're pre-diabetic, and you could be facing insulin sensitivity issues. Now with MK677, I utilized a lot of MK677 during these past couple cycles, so it's good to see that my fasting blood glucose, even this fat, is still normal. I have a good insulin sensitivity, so that's fine. So my urea nitrogen, which is my BUN, which is a kidney marker, is completely normal. So my kidneys do not show signs of progressive kidney disease. They would obviously be elevated, and my creatinine was normal, and everything else was normal as far as my kidneys are concerned, which is awesome. Next thing I wanted to highlight is alkaline phosphate, AST and ALT. These are the liver markers. So if we look at my previous blood work, you can see that number one, I think it was 677, and my fasting blood glucose was 101. So I have been really on my fasting blood glucose, monitoring it. And then my alkaline phosphate was 118. So my liver was stressed on my previous blood work. On this blood work, my alkaline phosphate is completely normal, actually on the low end. My AST is right in the middle, which is normal for a bodybuilder who is constantly, lifting, breaking down muscle. You're going to have a bit of a stressed out liver. So super excited to see that my liver is not showing signs of liver disease or any serious liver issues. Just to put it in perspective, I've seen ALTs, which my ALT is 46. I've seen ALTs at 450, right? It's it sneaks up on you, right? These people don't understand that your liver is being strained with orals until, your ALT, AST hit in the hundreds, right? The 400s I've seen really bad ALT, AST, so super excited to see that everything is normal. Now let's get into the testosterone. So My testosterone is crashed. I have the testosterone of a grandma. And this is very strange to me because my sexual performance and libido are normal currently. So, not to, I don't know really what to make of that, right? I said in the previous blood work video that my Clomid is half-lifing out. It was on the 3rd week of when I quit Clomid. So this is indicative of permanent shutdown. But my opinion is that I'm fat and I'm not in the optimal body range. I'm stressed out right now currently. And I did not take natural test boosters. I honestly wanted crashed blood work to get my TRT, which I will be doing a video how to get TRT completely online, and I'm going to be vlogging the whole process, so thumbs up for that. But as far as testosterone recovery, I don't know if my testosterone will come back or not, to be honest. I do want to vlog it and try it after my competitive fitness career is over. I want to see what I can get my natural testosterone to. But 51's basically not on. I did not get luteinizing hormone or follicle stimulating hormone tested, so I don't know where those are at. Obviously they're crashed in my opinion, and it's just weird. I did not feel like low T, honestly. I'm just being completely dead honest. Like when I was on Clomid, my mood was all over the place, and I got it felt so much better to get off the Clomid. And that's, I guess, when my test started crashing, right? Because the Clomid is artificial LH, FSH, artificially stimulating it. My pituitary did not kick on. Don't know if it's going to kick on if the connection with the HPTA in the brain is, fucked up. I don't know. I'm not in the optimal body fat. I'm not in the optimal sleep right now to even have good natural testosterone. So really wasn't my concern, but that is another side effect of this many cycles, over 20 cycles. I'm an experimenter, to be honest. So estrogen was 139, which is very high in my opinion, and I wanted it to be high, right? Estrogen is important to build muscle when you're bulking, and estrogen is so important for HDL. So that estrogen saved my HDL from being in single digits. So I'm not complaining about the estrogen. Personally, it has not impacted my libido at all. My libido has been normal when I was on cycle. My libido, I was hypersexual for sure. So I feel normal as far as my libido is concerned, even with a testosterone of 51. So I don't really know what to make of that. And it's fine because I have crashed blood work to utilize for my TRT, which is fine. So estrogen was high. You want estrogen for neuroprotective purposes, right? It protects the brain. When you have estrogen low, it's more neurotoxic. Testosterone, androgens are neurotoxic. Estrogen is neuroprotective. This is why you see male cognitive decline happen before female cognitive decline in the elderly most of the time. So that's good. I will be obviously bringing my estrogen back down to the 60-80 range while I compete. But right now with the body fat I'm at, it's perfectly acceptable. And honestly, I'm glad my estrogen's high because it saved all my HDL. IGF-1 was normal, so you can see if your pituitary is messed up with your IGF-1 count, or you can see if your HGH is real. If you get bloods pulled while on HGH, or you get bloods pulled while on MK677, you can see where it's at. So 138, my IGF is completely normal despite, all the MK677, right? So my pituitary is still secreting GH normally. It's not crashed despite that, despite all the MK677. So hemoglobin and hemocrit on the upper echelon, right? 17.1 is the reference range and 50.9. So on the upper echelon with PEDs are going to increase hemoglobin and hemocrit. Now if it was way worse than that, then all you have to do, in my opinion, is to donate blood, and you can get these numbers down lower. So if I donated blood one more time, then my hematocrit and hemoglobin would be in range, but they're basically in range, so not too worried about that. Platelet count was normal, and then all my cancer tests came back with, did not register. Now let's get back to prolactin, T3, T4. So my prolactin was completely normal despite my high estrogen. My T3 was completely normal despite all my T2 usage, which shows that thyroid stimulating hormone was not crashed while I've been using T2. So T2 is pretty legit in my opinion. And I came off everything before this blood draw, right? So there was no T2 in my system, but before the blood draw, I was using T2 every day to increase my T3, and my T4 is normal as well. My prostate specific antigen is normal, and it shows that my prostate is not growing rapidly from steroid use. It's not, progressive prostate cancer possibly, or any risk of that. It's completely normal. My prostate is not being, it's not being messed up by all the PEDs. And then my hemoglobin is normal. And this is very important, and commonly with SARMs only cycles, is my SHBG is completely crashed. So all 50 of my tests is basically free, right? So there's no sex hormone binding globulin going on. There's no test being bound up useless. We will see next blood draw where that's at. So that is unbiased blood work analyzation from me. I'm not sugarcoating anything. Obviously, the cholesterol is of concern, and I will need to do mitigation steps to get my cholesterol under control. But based on my previous blood work a couple months ago, my test or my total cholesterol was fine. My HDL was normal for someone who uses PEDs, and my LDL was great. And obviously with COVID, it got fucked up. So that's what I got to fix. Honestly, with the previous blood work, I had a lot of other issues, right? My liver was super stressed out, which I was fixing. So yeah, that is my current blood work, pre-contest cycle blood work. Like I said, I'm going to be focusing on fixing my cholesterol with cardarine, SR9009, red yeast rice, krill oil, omega-3s, and taking the two, and then taking, the 8 whole eggs out of my diet and lowering my overall cholesterol intake pretty significantly. Should get my HDL around, or not my HDL, my LDL around 100, and I'm going to shoot to boost my HDL back up to 35-ish, 40, aim for that. So those are the specific side effects I've had from all my experiments, right? I'm not a normal, person here. Obviously, I experimented with tons of PEDs, and in my opinion, nothing is completely out of whack besides the cholesterol, which if you see in my previous blood work results, my cholesterol was pretty under control until, COVID happened and everything got fucked up. So hopefully you learned something from this. Like I said, go on Persona Labs, coupon code Russo20. There's the plug. These videos were completely sponsored by them. So it was awesome that they wanted to team up, and then I think it helps out everyone, right? I think the video where I show how easy it is to get this blood work done and how well they have this set up so you can just read it very nicely is awesome. And it's so critical that if you're going to play around with PEDs, that you monitor your blood work and you get baseline blood work before you take PEDs, so you know where everything was sitting at before you started messing around, right? You want to play with fire, you might get burned, and you need to know what it was before, you decide to add in exogenous androgens or GH secretagogues or PPARs. Like, everything impacts everything. It's a cascading card game, and you have to be on top of it and monitor your blood work, right? You don't want to ignore it until it's very concerning. And then, I have people come with come to me all the time with very concerning blood work that's, in my opinion, much worse than this. And it can be fixed, but it's better that, you know, I got my bloods pulled 6 months later after the Enhanced documentary. I see that my cholesterol is out of whack. Boom. I'm making all the changes to mitigate that, right? Based on my previous blood work to see where it was at. You know, I didn't, you know, wait until my, you know, RBC count got out of control. I can't breathe right, blah, blah, blah. Then I pull bloods and then my liver's stressed out because I've been doing orals the whole time and just ignore it. Like, you can't do that with PEDs. You have to be on top of your shit. So Persona Labs lets you get independent blood work done without a doctor. All you do, you order the test you want. On here, they have tons of tests to pick from, and then you use coupon code Russo20 for your savings, and then you print out your doctor's note, go to Quest Diagnostics, and then 3 days they will email you something similar to this for you to look at, to which you could take to them. They have a doctor on staff to analyze your blood work for you, or you could take it to your personal doctor, or you could just read it yourself and then have it documented on, okay, this cycle impacted my kidneys this way, this cycle impacted my liver this way, this cycle really fucked up my cholesterol, this cycle really thickened my blood. And then you can start to form what your body responds well to and the total amounts your body, because everybody's completely different, right? Some people can tolerate tons of steroids. I look at their blood work, it's not that bad. Other people with TRT, their blood work looks horrible. So it all comes down to the individual reaction to the HBTA. And you also can see that my testosterone might not come back. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to recover it when I'm done with my competitive fitness career. But some people can come off completely cold turkey. Their testosterone will shoot up to 500, 600. Right after a trend cycle, I've seen that. After a DECA cycle, I've seen that. And then other people can be crashed like this. And you don't want to have low tests like that for a long period of time. But now that I have my blood work done, I'm going to move forward with my contest prep series. So please subscribe, tell your friends. I'm trying to get to 30,000. I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in my next one.